Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we're discussing my thoughts on the possibility of seeing even that much more Rogue One, a Star Wars story. No, I will not be talking about all of the reshoot footage and the existence of a possible alternate version of the movie that maybe exists out there somewhere to be determined as a director's cut release in the future. I don't know. More along the lines, am I going to be talking about something I only became aware of in the aftermath of actually seeing Rogue One, a Star Wars story for myself, and that is the ties that exist between it and the animated Star Wars series Rebels. Rebels is a series that I'd only seen a few episodes of prior to seeing Rogue One, and in the aftermath of seeing Rogue One, have I become aware of the fact that there were a lot of great Easter eggs tying those two, aligning them together, most notably the main ship of the Rebels series, the Ghost, features, to a point in the final space battle of Rogue One. You also see it parked outside the Rebel base in a couple sequences. The main astromech droid of the Rebels series, Chopper, actually appears in the background of one of the sequences with Mon Mothma, where they're just about to go after Jyn Erso and her Rebel cell, going after the Death Star plans, as well as there is one sequence which I do actually remember hearing, but it didn't click with me at the time because I really had sort of a limited familiarity with the Rebels series, but you hear over a loudspeaker a General Syndulla being called, in for like a debriefing, and that is Hera Syndulla of the sort of main pilot and captain of the Ghost from Rebels. She is a Twi'lek, and she's one of my favorite characters of that series. I love the series overall. It's a series that, because of my excitement for Rogue One, and kind of wanting more of that Star Wars flavor, did I finally make a full-fledged dive into the Rebels series. I watched the entirety of the first season. I'm a little less than halfway through Season 2 as of the time of this recording, and, I think they're halfway through Season 3 of current. So I am catching up, but, there are so many things to be excited about in the Rebels series. You're following around the crew of the Ghost, who is a sort of rebel cell, and at the start of the series, they don't even know that there is a grander design to the whole rebel movement against the Empire. They don't realize they're just one cell of many, and eventually they sort of catch up with the rebel fleet. They become a part of it. The sort of central figure or doorway character is Ezra Bridger, the youngest of them, who's kind of a street rat, kind of very much Aladdin-esque as we see at the start of the series, and he's trying to steal some goods that the Ghost crew is also trying to steal, led by Kanan, who is one of the almost Jedi who managed to just barely escape Order 66, sent down by Palpatine and the Sith and everything like that, to wipe out, murder all of the Jedi. Kanan just barely got out. And he effectively, while not being a full-fledged Jedi in his own right, he has a lot of the Force powers, and he has a lightsaber and all this kind of stuff. He's been in hiding, but he takes as a Padawan Ezra, and they go on these crazy, fantastic journeys against the Empire together. Filling out the crew is the sort of, if you go back to the Ralph McQuarrie, concept art of Chewbacca, they have the character of Zeb, voiced by Steve Bloom. For Cowboy Bebop fans, he voiced Spike Spiegel, who is very reminiscent. I don't remember the character's species, but he's very reminiscent of sort of Wookiee-esque, looking back at those Ralph McQuarrie concept art pieces. You have Sabine, who is a Mandalorian, who is a punker chick in her own right. She loves, spreading sort of Empire graffiti all over the place. She's all kinds of awesome. And again, Hera is the captain. And so it's a fantastic series. You also have, as I say, the astromech droid Chopper. And to see that legitimized in a live-action framework, to see the Ghost in Rogue One, to see Chopper in Rogue One, to hear General Syndulla, Hera, being called over the loudspeaker, suddenly it just abounded my excitement. It made it that much more tantamount and led me to want to go check out Rebels. Darth Vader appears in Season 2. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, but I'm sure you've seen the art to know that by now, if you've been a Star Wars fan at all. Vader features prominently, as well as some of the what they call Inquisitors, who are these, I guess you could say, Sith-sensitive, Force-sensitive, very dark characters. The one in the first season, my sister nicknamed Beanhead, and there are 2 Inquisitors that have just cropped up in Season 2 about where I am, and a female and a male, and they're going after, Kanan and Ezra because they want to wipe out the Jedi. Vader wants them alive. You also have a returning character going back to the former animated series, The Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano. And in her debut in the series, being very much part of the Rebel movement, they have a confrontation with Vader where, if you have even vague familiarity... Now, I did not watch a majority of The Clone Wars. I've only seen a little bit of it here and there. I read one of the comics as well. And I am familiar enough to know that before Anakin became Darth Vader full-fledged and fell to the dark side, he had a Padawan of his own. He was not only the Padawan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, he had a Padawan of his own, and that was Ahsoka Tano. And so when she makes her debut in the Rebels series, and they have the confrontations they do with Vader, I think at this point it's kind of uncertain where I am in the series, but I think she knows well and truly who he is. He definitely knows who she is, and there's a confrontation yet to come. And all kinds of Star Wars goodness is all I can say. It's like, you feel like the earth-shattering gravitas of all of this, the weight of all of it. Constantly is the Ghost crew trying to help out the little people that the Empire is, reigning their tyrannical rule over, trying to get medical supplies to rebel cells, trying to help innocents that are just caught in the crossfire and things of that sort. Some of their actions, unfortunately, bring the Empire down on them because maybe they've been hiding out in a place for too long and the Empire becomes aware of that. And to be able to see what I'm all building up to and getting to be able to see a crossover in any way, shape, or form, already seeing the legitimized crossover in live action form, is just whetting the appetite of what is yet to come, because the showrunner, the creator of Rebels, Dave Filoni, has said since Rogue One has been released that he's already working on the possibility of telling the Rogue One story, but as seen through the eyes of the current crew of the Ghost in Rebels, whenever that time frame in the series they catch up to it, that kind of thing. To know that they were a part of that battle is fantastic, is awesome. I absolutely love it, but to then have the potential for actually seeing that story from another perspective, completely re-examined through the eyes of the Rebels characters. Man, I really hope this is something that comes to be. The excitement, the potential for excitement that bestills me with, or befills me with, as it were, it just is like goosebumps. I'm thoroughly excited beyond repair to want to see this. I've already heard that the character of Saw Gerrera is set to return in Rebels, I believe, and is going to be reprised by Forrest Whitaker, so it's going to be building up to and aligning to that in the course of the animated series to begin with, and then to potentially see a full-fledged retelling of the Rogue One story, again through the eyes of the Ghost characters, whichever of them happened to be part of the ship at the time, just is all kinds of exciting. And that's really what the formation, the inspiration, the impetus of this video was, to say how excited I am about that prospect, because I'm loving Rebels. I've been watching it with my sis, and we've been enjoying the hell out of it. And again, to see aspects of it legitimized in live action, in a now canon, chapter in the filmography of Star Wars, it's like, hell yes. Hell yes. I just want to see more. And it would be awesome to actually catch a glimpse of the animated version of, Jyn Erso and everything like that, or Galen Erso and these other characters, much as we have. In a episode I just got done watching, as of the time of this recording, Princess Leia Organa herself appeared in the latest episode of Rebels that I just got done watching. And that was fantastic. It was awesome to see, the through line of connectivity really thoroughly existing between these properties, that they're all on the same path, is just so rejuvenating and so refreshing and so awesome as a Star Wars fan. And I definitely love to hear from you guys in the comments below, whether or not you're a Rebels fan. If you aren't, go check it out, because it's awesome. But if you've seen Rogue One, and you're even remotely familiar with the fact that some elements of Rebels appeared in it, and there might be an even more in-depth sort of investigation of the Rogue One story through the Rebels series, let me know what you think of that. If that excites you, if you could care less, anything goes in the comments below. Just love having that conversation. But I couldn't be more excited for that possibility, and I hope I get caught up soon enough by the time they get around to it in the animated series. I don't know if that's going to finish out the third season, if we're going to have to wait till season 4 to get there, but I'm on board one way or the other. And so yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well. May the Force be with you. Peace.